Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and yep, we're still doing pandemic project previews because, well, we still are in that pandemic. And because of that, I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody who's involved in the safety and well-being and keeping us out of harm's way. And that includes all first responders, EMTs, emergency personnel, essential personnel, hospital care workers, and nursing home folks, and everybody who's putting their lives on the line to save ours. So thank you for all it is that you do. And if you're watching this, thank you for taking the time, your precious moments that you're not involved in this, to watch the videos. And I do consider that a compliment. So let's show you a couple of projects we got lined up for this week. Some of these in the shop will be projects. Some won't be because I've done videos in the past. But let's start. Joyce, who's I think she watches the videos more than I do. Joyce sent me in 3 Mitchells. She sent me in a Mitchell 308. These are probably the favorites of freshwater fishermen. They just enjoy using these reels a lot. Joyce's reel's got a sticking bail problem, so we'll see if we can't show you how to fix that up. And otherwise, I've done a 308, I think, in my library, so we may or may not do the full thing, but we'll see if we can't show you how to fix that. That tension on the spring doesn't seem very good at the moment, so it could be a spring issue. But as I always tell folks with the bails, just check the mechanics first. You might loosen the screw a little bit, might use some oil on there just to make sure that everything is functioning properly. It might be that the trip mechanism here isn't responsive enough and is holding too much pressure on there. So we'll take a look at that. She also sent me in 2 Mitchell 300s. So I kind of made a side hobby of this. I never worked on Mitchell 300s much. You can see we got the same issue here with this bail. I never worked on 300s much until I bought out a fella's supply. He went out of business and he had a whole bunch of Mitchell parts, and I started as a pastime taking these apart and seeing how many reels I could build from all the parts that he had, and actually got pretty successful at it. So I'm certainly going to take that apart. I think I've already done a video on that. Again, here's that sticking bail issue, so we'll see if we can't solve that. It looks like the spring's working because it wants to come back after it trips. It's just taking its time doing that, so we'll see. And then here's the 3rd Mitchell, also a 300, popular as all get out. And I've yet to figure out why some of these have a very loud click and some have a very quiet click, but such is life. And this one seems to work fine, so we'll take that one apart and service that one for her as well. So we have 3 Mitchells. Whether they make them the videos or not, I'm not sure. They both have, 2 of them have bail issues, so we'll see what's going on there. Next up is an interesting one. I've certainly worked on enough Ambassadors in my life, but I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen this one before. So this is an Abu Ambassador. It's a Calex, K-A-L-E-X 60. And I'm just assuming it's pretty much everything else except that it's got some pretty blue colors on it. I'm not sure if this one is Chinese made or not. It's got a badge on here, but the badge, of course, is all worn off. They usually say made in Sweden. I'm not seeing that on here, so I'm going to assume this is probably a Chinese version of the Ambassador. We have a sticking release, I'm told. Every now and then it just gets hung up. It was hanging up when I first took it out of the box, so we'll see. It looks like there's something going on in the trip mechanism here, and I know this is a common problem with a lot of folks. It's a little bit of a different click here in the thumb release. A lot of the Ambassadors have them on the side posts, but we'll take that apart. Not sure I'll do a video on that one just because I haven't seen the inside of this one yet. It's a Calex 60 Ambassador. Next up then, we've got Philip, sent me in 2. He said these came off of eBay. He saw me do the SS tournament reel, and he's got 2 of them, and he said they're just not performing as well as his others. And seems smooth enough, but he said just give them the once over. Oh, this is the one. So this is On the Whiskers, they have a wheel here. Probably show you on the other one, and that's missing on this one. He says he has the replacement one with some of his other reels, so he'll put that one on. And then this one, you can see the wheel, and that facilitates the trip mechanism. So when the trip mechanism hits the wheel, it rides up on it, the wheel spins, and it flips. And again, he said these just aren't up to what his others are, so we'll take them apart and service them. Now, he watched one of my videos on a Whisker, but I told him I would do one anyway just so he could see that how that reel gets repaired for future use. Next up, coming in then, we got a smaller framed Ambassador. This is the, I think it's the 3300. It's hard to see. The decal's kind of worn off on this. Looks like 3300. Not sure. Made in Sweden. Older version. You can tell by the adjuster knob. Works okay. I understand the brakes are missing from this spool. I don't think I've done this version of the Ambassador, and even though they're all quite the same, this one is obviously smaller than the one I just showed you, the Calex, which has a broader diameter to it. And even against this one, here's one that was this is the 6500, and you can see the difference in the diameter of the two spools. So we'll go ahead and take this apart. I'll probably do a video on it just because folks, when they search YouTube and the like, they want to see their reel. They get uncomfortable when I do one that's not exactly their reel. So, and I like to show my customers their reels that have been serviced. I guess it goes back to math class in grammar school. They always said show your work, so I'm kind of showing my work. And then we have a this is interesting. I did the Langley cast right, fun little reel. We talked a little bit about it when I did it. Into my shop comes one that looks a little bit older. It's a Langley Lake cast, Deluxe. And look at this, it still works. Still works. It's got the older kind of line on it. I don't know where it's been or how it's been or what it's been up to, but that's that old cotton or linen line on there. It's obviously got a lot of dirt on it on the inside, but you know what? We'll put it together. Make it work. Give it a second chance. This one is a little bit different than the other. This has got the full metal jacket on it. The other one kind of had this plastic insert to it. I think when I did the video I said it's plastic or rubber. It appears to be more plastic. Interestingly enough, the drive looks identical. If you take those two screws, the buttons, the handle, everything kind of looks identical, just casing differences. So I may not put this one on a video just because it's probably the same reel. But we'll see. We'll take that apart and see. I got this one, $1 at a flea market. You don't see me work on these. Typically, you don't see me work on these because the cost of service, the darn things are worth more than the reel. This one's completely jammed. This is what I'm going to call a tuition reel. I'm going to take it apart, see why this thing jammed, and if it's worth putting back together again. This is a bigger one. This is a Shakespeare Synergy. Steel. I guess this must be stainless steel. This one actually could be used in deep water. So I don't know what got in there or whatever. This is very sticky in terms of the cast release. So I'm not quite sure why that is what that is. If I have a chance, I'll do a video on it, but it's my intention right now just to strip the thing down and find out why this thing isn't working. Next up then is another Ambassador that came into my shop. This one is an Ambassador 7C. It's a wide chassis. Typically it's this one's made for ocean fishing or deep water fishing. This one, there's a 7000 out there, which I love. I think it's one of the best reels that Ambassador's ever made. This is see, now I'm not sure, I'm not that familiar with this reel. I'm going to go pull ahead. I'm not sure if this is an automatic trip or if this is a manual trip, but you can hear, if nothing else, we've got a burring issue in there. We've got a spool rub issue. And we've got one that certainly is lacking a lot of lubrication. So stay tuned. We'll do this one and we'll find out what's going on with that one. This is a Swedish-made reel. I do like these reels, so we'll see if we can't get that one back out there fishing. And then finally, this is the generic. Not quite sure what this is. From that round badge, I'm thinking maybe it's a Berkeley. I'm not sure. It's the circa 1960s, 70s type of a reel. It's got a hard body to it. It's kind of got the Mitchell quick spool release up here. Well, we've noticed one problem right away. We got a line wrapped all over the place. But that's not the only issue with this reel, although it is turning. So we're going to do a mystery reel here, and if anybody knows, just based on the format, the way this is, three screws on the side plate, a round badge hole, missing the badge, of course. Kind of maybe the handle could help be an identifier on this one. There's no other markings. It doesn't say where it was made. There's nothing other than that generic badge missing. So we'll call this one a mystery reel. And if I get the time, we'll do one of these mystery reel kind of take aparts and services. And again, if nothing else, this is a tuition reel. But I'll tell you what, clear that line. This thing is kind of doing what it should be doing. So there's a flea market find. It was quite a bargain there. Somebody just didn't realize that the line was all trapped up. So all right. So that's what's coming up in the week ahead. And if you see any of these that you would like to have me do a video on that I don't plan to do the video on, let me know, and I'll try to do the best I can to get those things on film and show you how these reels are made and how they're serviced. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing you well. Please stay healthy, stay safe, listen to our authorities about the pandemic and what we can and can't do, and be respectful of their guidance. So have a great week. Please stay tuned.